This is Tracing History. I'm Brian Swan, joined today with a guy I'll be introducing in a second. But, of course, Tracing History is our cartoon conversation where we just sort of talk to someone about their sort of fandom in animation, their history of animation, things they may or may not do within the realm of animation, and we just have a good time talking about it. So guys, I want to introduce a man that I've known for quite a long time. We've been friends for about over 10 years now.
We just met yesterday.
Just met yesterday, but 10 years is yesterday at this point. So, Mark, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Not obviously occupation. Just what do you do? Who is Mark Warren?
My name is Mark. I work retail. I am K9Biskuts. I am a video. I do video reviews. Not very long video essays, but just reviews of whatever I feel like, so...
Alright, before we get to the Game Boy Advance version, I just want to say I personally prefer the first model over the SP in terms of comfortability, but sadly you'll need a spotlight of like 1 billion watts just to see anything on the darn handheld. Now, the SP does have a backlight, but no headphone jack. Seriously, you just can't win with these things.
Mostly gaming, or sometimes if I want to feel like talking about a show, I will talk about a show. I've been on hiatus for a while because I just had a case of block, and I've just been busy lately. It's just like work, more work, and then like the sleep demon taps me on the shoulder and just like slaps me in the face.
100%.
But I'm trying to get back into it. Whenever I have the space, whenever I have the time, whenever I have the energy, I'm going to get back in. I'm trying to get back into it. But I've been more productive with setting up this podcast stuff.
Yeah, it takes a big chunk of time out. Anytime you had freedom to actually create stuff, some guy shows up randomly in the middle of the day saying, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and it burns out all the chance of time you have.
Hey, Mark, how was work? I'm tired as shit. I just want to go to sleep. Oh, cool. I'm gonna come over. We're gonna record a podcast. Can you set up the studio?
You set up the. By the way, where can they find you?
At K9Biskuts. That's K9Biskuts. .com. That goes right to my YouTube channel until Squarespace takes it over and just, I don't know.
We have to figure out that Google site.
Throw the domain to a porn site or something.
Through a porn site, yeah.
But
I don't want to know what K9Biskuts, the porn site, looks like, by the way. Yeah.
Probably the best thing you've ever seen.
Oh my god.
Are you sure you don't want to know, baby?
All right, let's get into the fact that let's get into this conversation. So, we've known each other for a long time, just over 10 years at this point.
Yeah, it's been over 10 years.
It has been over 10 years, yeah.
I graduated high school in 2014, and we're going to 2024 right now, and we known each other before, I graduated for sure.
Yeah, 2012, early 2013.
I mean, are we past the anniversary of the gaming club we did at our school?
Not at when we were in. I don't think he minds us name dropping him, Mr. Gavin. Not at his place. At Tech Center, already happened. It's about to it was September or October when we started in 2013 for DGN.
And you can. I know with name drops, you can name drop a one part of the name, and that's fine. Also, especially if you're not. Well, you don't have any social media, so people are not going to look through your friends list or something.
No, they literally can't find me because I don't exist anymore on social media.
With me, I have to be careful with names because people would just look through my social media.
People will look through your social media. They'll find your address. They'll put presents in your mailbox, and it's just not a good time. It's not a good time.
Yeah. Oh my God! Someone sent me money again. This is harassment. Stop!
How many gift cards do I need? Yeah. What's in terms of getting into animation, just a little snafu for you guys, a heads up for you guys. We had done an attempted version of this podcast, and about 35 minutes of it sort of went to the trash can, as it does. We've had, incidents happen, life happens, and, so we're doing a little bit of a...
The computer didn't recognize the USB port the mic was plugged in.
Yeah, so we were talking. We were having a really good conversation, but not recording.
And I usually monitor because every recording I do, I usually monitor the mic.
Yeah.
And I always go to the computer to scroll down, and sometimes Brian is in the middle of talking, and he stops talking because I'm going to the computer, and it's you don't have to stop. I'm just checking the mic again.
Yeah. But, that's the magic sometimes of the K9Biskuts Broadcast Center.
DuckTales will be right back. Just enough time for you to come do all my chores for me. Please, somebody do my chores. When I say duck, you say tails. Duck? I don't know if you said it. Now back to DuckTales.
I don't think I've ever asked, like, in terms of like a cartoon or a character or just this animated thing like that. What's something in the realm of animation that kind of got you in through a rut, through like a rough time, like really, really got you through a rough time? If you can't think of one, I'll just bring up the fact that like Aqua Teen Hunger Force for me, when I was first diagnosed with my neuromuscular disorder, like in the hospital, I had to like.
You keep going. I just like how like you ask me questions. Like if you don't think of one, I'll just go and like I'll just you just go anyway. Keep going.
I'm gonna cut through my guest and just get to the point of what I'm saying here. But yeah, man. When I was diagnosed, I had to spend like 4 or 5 days in the hospital to like learn the diagnosis, or they had to test and all that. And every time I was there at night, I would like go and play Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like because it was on like I used my computer and all this stuff, and it was like absolutely like the funniest thing ever at the time, and it was such a joy to like have this stupidly hilarious show. What is something that got you through a sort of rough patch in the world of animation?
Cartoons are like escapes. Like it is like a fun escapism to me.
Yeah.
It's like any kind of cartoon, like especially the ones on Cartoon Network, like Dexter's Lab or Ed and Eddie or just Looney Tunes. Like it's just like having like my life like what I like about my the best parts of life for me, the best emotion I have is just like laughter. I love comedy. I just want to laugh all the time. Usually when I'm going through a situation, I reimagine the situation as like what if it was a cartoon?
Right.
What if I'm in a cartoon? How would that work? Even sometimes as a little kid, I would like act or think I'm in a cartoon, and I would like just like talk to like nothing as if I'm talking to the fourth wall. Because kids' imaginations are wild. Because they're stupid, and I was
the Earth has not pushed them down yet, so their imaginations are limitless.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a different timeline.
Like we are being watched, but not by an audience, just by the government.
Just oh my god.
And they're not doing it for entertainment.
Not doing it for entertainment. There's no like filter where you look like a cartoon. No, don't put that in your head there. No, but yeah, that's interesting. So like when you. Like, it was just more of a way to feel that optimism.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was one of those things where you felt like, if I'm obviously reading that correctly, it's like, you know, you utilize the idea of this world visually through animation, or like it's a cartoon, because, again, like, if you visualize that, it really is a way to lighten the realm up in any sort of shitty situation.
Yeah, even to this day, I still do. It goes into my drawings. Like, you've seen like posts of like when I draw about like something serious, I would draw like a little cartoon with it, and it would just be like a kind of like a cartoon exaggeration of the situation.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's really.
And
good.
it just like, it helps. It just like a little escapism. Like I'm just going to add this little cartoony joke here, or like to the situation. Like I remember like when I got fired from my job, so like I drew like when I was making a Facebook post about it, I drew a picture of like me sitting upset sitting on the bench in a suit and tie. And like I have a dog next to me with like a grumpy face. I always like to have like that secondary character there.
Yeah.
Like when I first started drawing like for social media, I would like draw my character going through something bad, and I would have like I would draw like a dog character that's just like always looking grumpy. I hate going through this. So like he's like holding up I'm like sitting on the bench with a suit and tie, just looking sad, and my dog is like holding up a sign that says "spare change."
That's right. I remember that one.
Or like or like later down the line, I would also draw like a cat that's just like that has a drink next to it, and like the dog and a cat are both like just like so like usually like not fazed by the situation.
No.
They're just like, but they're not happy about it. They're just like going through it. And like just doing something cartoony on the side.
Right.
While my character's like just working through it.
Yeah, I didn't mention in the beginning that, but you do sort of either short form animations and you have your own distinct art style.
Hello, everyone. This is an animation test. I cannot see myself doing that for a living.
Yeah.
When you design, not only design your characters, but for the dog and the cat character, and we'll probably have an image of one of, we'll probably have like one.
I'll provide you some stuff.
Yeah, like, but, so we're not just sitting here and they're like, what do they look like? I don't know what they look like. What do they look like? But, when they're just sitting there unfazed by the realities of like what's going on, is that just because like you wanted to sort of feel them as like the extension of your actual pets? Is that sort of what's going on?
But like it also like you know, it's the same thing for writing too. Like, you know, when I'm drawing those other characters, they're like different parts of me.
Yeah.
So it's like this is another way of me reacting to the situation. It's like it's just me saying like it's just life.
Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. With your animations, like we said, like we discussed before, looking into the fact that like you have a distinct art style. You mentioned before nothing had inspired you, but if you could rewind back and run through that again.
I mentioned what's inspired me, but I just accidentally came into it.
Oh.
Because I remember like I would like try to copy like Disney's art style, like from the Disney movies, and I would fail spectacularly. I'm still not good at drawing like whatever, whatever Disney style there is. Like either it's the cartoons from like I don't know, like Aladdin or the Seven. I love the designs of the dwarfs of Snow White or something like that. Okay. I can't draw those or any other cartoons I watch from the Hanna-Barberas or like the
Nickelodeon or whatever.
Yeah, Nickelodeon, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because when I see your animation style, it feels like, it's funny because it feels to me very Nickelodeon, even though you're not aiming for pulling from that Nickelodeon style. When I see it, I think like, oh, that definitely feels like it could be from something or inspired by Nickelodeon.
Sometimes I'll try to sometimes I'll try to draw certain things and it doesn't work out. Like I'll try to draw something similar to like a Disney character. Like I like the eyes, but I don't like the nose, so I'll take reference from somewhere else. So like, okay, I'll get the nose from this character, and like I don't like that mouth. I'll take reference from this character, and like, okay, I like doing like this. So there's still certain things, like certain philosophies for the way I draw, where I like and don't like. So like I don't like to draw like small eyes or eyes are like too far apart. I like them drawn like pretty big and like just like a bit like regular distance, just not too close together like Garfield eyes. And I like I don't like a regular nose, like a nose that looks like this.
Right. I
like a little bump nose. And like I like a mouth with like a line extending from it.
That's cool.
That's just the way I like drawing. And like another thing about my art style is like I draw that way because like it's what I'm used to drawing when I know how to draw, and I'm not good at drawing any other style. Like like when I see some people how they draw, they will like I don't draw traditionally, and I need to start doing the habit I see other people doing, where they will start with shapes,
right,
and then they'll fill in those shapes, because like it's good for like continuity, for size and stuff, and like making sure your character's the same proportion on model every time. But like I mean, I still have a hard time trying to do that because I'm just not used to that habit yet. I'm just still used to the habit I'm doing as a kid, where I'm like I always start with the eyes and then the nose and the mouth, and I draw the whole body around it. I think I hear sometimes Matt Groening draws that way, so like, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like starting with the eyes, it's like you know what expression you want to aim toward.
Oh yeah.
And so when you start with the eyes, it's like, all right, that's my mission. And so when you start with that, you're pushing forward on directly at that point there. It seems. It's got to be cool to have a distinct sort of art style there. I know that even inadvertently, like you said, it's like you don't necessarily. This was not the goal originally, but it's got to be cool to have a distinct art style that, like, essentially, it's original. It's on its own. It's original, and it looks very. To me, again, as a stick figure drawer, as someone that draws stick figures and is proud of it. That's pretty much as far as I can go. Like, it's pretty cool that you have a distinct art style in a world where, I've seen a lot of people where they're inspired by anime and they use that style, and you can kind of immediately draw to what that style is. Like, it's very distinctive what you have there.
Yeah. Also, like, a lot of things, something I don't do that a lot of people don't do, which I probably should start doing. Like, I wish I started doing, is like, I just don't make fan art. I don't like drawing, existing characters too often. I just try to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Like, fan art is don't follow after my footsteps. Fan art is like good for practicing and like learning other art styles. But like when I'm designing a character, it does take me a while because I mostly like creating like unique type of hairstyles because that's a major part of the silhouette to make him identifiable. And like I always like drawing different hairstyles for like each character I make, and it gets hard to come up with like different hairstyles because also like for the way I draw, it's like also the part of the foundation of the character because I try not to make because like if you have like a certain art style, like what you want to do is not make your characters look the same because you can easily do that by accident.
Right.
Because I remember a challenge for myself. What I did one time is like a bunch of friends I had. I was like, I'm gonna draw a picture for every one of them.
That was one of the coolest moments.
Yeah, and I put them all on a funny green screen. Yeah. It was. I like the way it came out. Well, now I look back and I'm like, oh, geez, I used to draw like that.
And again, as a stick figure drawer, it's like that still was. I still look back at that and I'm like, that took effort, and that
took a while.
To me, that looks cooler than almost anything that. Again, not almost. It's cooler than anything I've created in terms of artistic design, and so it's that self. Not attacking, but you know what I mean, where it's like you're just self-analyze, where you self-analyze, it's like, okay, this is what I did in the past, and it could always be better, you know what I mean? Like that tough thing where you look back and it's like, darn.
Oh yeah, especially when I see somebody else's drawing on the internet, and it's like,
oh
man, that's way better than mine. Or somebody who's like, I'm like, who's next to me, or I'm just like, I'm seeing them drawing the picture, and I'm like, fucking asshole, they're drawing better than me. Fuck you for being better at drawing.
Right.
And like, I hate when it's people I know, and it's just like, they just upload a drawing like, hey, this is a little doodle I did, and it's just like, really detailed sketch, and it's far advanced than anything I can do, and it's like, they're on a pedestal I can't even like see them on because it's so damn high.
I do also, like, it's just jealousy on, same thing on my side, just seeing anything where it's like, even, we both do editing, we both do video production.
Oh yeah.
Like seeing videos where it's like, man, like, if they can get if you see a creator get something out.
Fucking animated transitions and shit, I'm like, fuck you! Yeah. Fuck you! I can't do that yet. I still have not figured that out.
It's like time, effort, commitment, all that stuff, but it's impressive. It's just one of those things where, again, you self-analyze.
I wish you would be worse, so I have to look like an amateur.
Oh my god!
Why are you a professional?
Right. How dare you work on your own self while I'm working on myself? Fuck yeah.
Well, like, just how I fall into an art style is because, like, I draw like my one character. And I really like the design of that character, so I'll keep drawing him. And you just have a philosophy, like you know how to draw that character just by by muscle memory. And like when you're trying to draw other characters, you sort of like you just go with what you know.
Right.
And so like you draw them based off philosophy of like what you already. Like, when I try to draw another character, I draw him based on the philosophy of, like, what I draw the last character of. And, like, and you just keep doing that, and, like, then that's sort of how you find the art style, is like, it just comes from a character design or a couple, and you just start growing your own philosophy based on, like, how you like to draw your characters.
Absolutely. Gotcha. I mean, that's That's kick-ass, man. Like, again, because it's like you start, essentially, like you said, like you start in square one and you just move out from there. And as long as you continue working on square one, it becomes that muscle memory of square one to move to square two.
Oh yeah,
it's that character, same deal, essentially, right?
Yeah, it's pure muscle memory of like just me knowing of the shapes I like, of like how I draw my characters. So like I can draw like a character in my style with my left hand, and I'm right-handed people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it just becomes a muscle memory after a while.
That's
you just
cool.
know how to do it. You can like I can do it on my freaking small phone and just like draw my characters because like I know the shapes. I know like I know how to draw like their features and stuff.
Absolutely.
Also, my art style is simplistic, so that's why it's easy to draw on like in the shittiest way.
Simplistic in the point of view, your point of view, you know.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah.
The Simpsons will be right back on Fox.
Moving on, let's talk about, I want to throw to history-wise, like sort of just, again, it is called Tracing History.
Way back in the 1980s.
Way back in, is that how old you are? Oh God. How were you in high school when I was in high school if you were back in the 80s?
Oh,
You know, don't tell me. Don't tell me. We're moving on. So
that joke is about to get real dark.
So, what, in terms of like, what sort of one of those?
I'm 38 years old. All right, we're going.
What's one of the those that first? Not even the first one, but when you think of growing up, nostalgia? What's that thing that sort of stands out? Like, bam! Like I just remember this as a kid. I remember
porn.
This, like, how early were you getting that? Don't tell me that either. Like,
too late now.
It's like in Atlantis. You told me, I didn't want to know.
No, Andre, don't tell him.
You told me, and I didn't.
And I didn't want to know, and now I'm telling you, you don't want to know.
But yeah, what is something there that sort of tugs back to you every once in a while, where you're like, all right, yeah, that was something that it was cool and is sort of still in your memory, and obviously isn't there forever all the time because again we have work, we have life, we have bills, things that are gonna distract us. But what's something that sort of calls back to you in terms of that nostalgia from like when you were a kid? You know?
Oh, easy. Cartoon Fridays.
Cartoon Fridays.
Like that, like it's like a big, like it was like the biggest event for me as a kid. It's like it's a massive, it's a crossover. Like it's like the Avengers before the Avengers.
Right.
And like cause not only are you promised new episodes, sometimes you're getting new shows. And then you just get these interstitials, just like this fun crossover with these characters, but it's not like a crossover of a show crossover. It's like who are you? You're not from my world. It's more like these characters are like they're like people on like a movie set,
right? Where it's
like, oh, are you filming that over there? Well, I'm filming this over there, and they just like know each other. Like one of my favorite moments is like, I think I remember it was like Ed and Eddie were like just announcing, they were hosting, and like they were just announcing like the next cartoon. Out of nowhere, it's like Fred, just like he's just joining them and like, yeah, up next is this cartoon, and then they just go and it goes to and then like when they speak, they're not like who the heck is this guy? He's a different art style. It's like they're like, oh hey Fred, what are you doing here, Fred? And it's like they just casually know each other, so like they just feel like real people. And it's just like it just makes like this whole world feels real to you, and like I love these bumpers. Like I have no problem with them. They're great. They have their own vibe to them. But the Cartoon City bumpers that come much later, like they don't like have the same. I guess gravitas. Like they're not as eventful as what Cartoon Fridays was. But even though they're great, they're definitely their own thing. But like they're not the event that Cartoon Fridays was.
Right. Yeah, I that was one of the great things about researching Cartoon Fridays for Attack the Block. You know, if you guys have watched At Democracy, if you guys are on At Democracy, my channel, and you've seen my Attack the Block video on Cartoon Fridays, one of the most fun things about it was going into just learning not only about the history of Cartoon Network and the originals, but getting to the point where you're learning about the originals, and then you get to sort of build into the foundation of Cartoon Fridays. And when it gets to that point where it is this awesome studio setting where these cartoons are interacting with each other, there's something so special about it. It's something so just memorable about the way that they're doing it. I will say, growing up, I was a little too old. I mean, old. It's a little too young, actually, to recall Cartoon Fridays, because I was born in '97, and I was 5 years old when the last run of Cartoon.
That was stupid of you. I used to be born in '97. Should have been born earlier.
I know. I should have been born earlier. You know. Funny enough, I was supposed to be born a month later, so I would have missed even more, probably. But so, like you said, Cartoon City for me is the nostalgia. Like, when I go back and I watch Cartoon Fridays, I feel that surge of like, wow, this is special. Cartoon City for me is one of those things.
Oh yeah, a major part is like also that intro song to the original Cartoon Fridays just slaps, because it just it starts off like they're setting things up. That's the whole realistic studio feel. Like the cartoon characters are running around like they're setting things up. Like, what's going on? How's my hair? And then it's like, it's a countdown, like 1, 2, 3, 4, doom, 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 and it's like this sunset rise build up with the Fridays logo, and they're just like, they start singing, they're all off key, and then it's like the intro just like breaks because like one of the they fall out one of the fucking squares, and it's like an outtake or something. Like, is that it? No, that is not it. And then you hear this drum roll, and it's just like. The music just like, but yeah, it's just like all the edges like bop, like just like bops up. It's just like this very like the what was the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, because you're not telling me any words.
But yeah, it's just this bombastic chorus of it like Cartoon Fridays, and it just and it slaps. It's just a great song.
I think
great intro.
The great thing about the cartoon theme is not only is it great for opening, but they carry it through the whole run. They don't change it or adjust. It's like they have it. It runs the entire span of that block. Every bumper has it. It's just so memorable. Yeah, man. So like, what in terms of like that nostalgia of Cartoon Fridays? Do you have a favorite Friday? I mean, not Friday, obviously. You can't remember. On March 17th, 2000. No. What's a favorite cartoon for you? Or is it just like the idea is more what you love over just one specific cartoon? Was there one that you favor over the others?
I do have like comfort cartoons from my nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I got two specific ones for you.
Alright, toss them.
Alright, so, I guess one of them is Garfield and Friends. And I think I showed you about all those DVDs I just got recently. Like the season 1 through 3, and I think I got another DVD for 9 Lives.
And this is the one that was on Cartoon Network, that great CG one that everyone loves?
Fuck you. That's right. And that was... Well, like, those are mediocre at best, and Garfield is voiced by Frank Welker, which he does an okay job for that version of Garfield, but that's not the Garfield I'm comfortable. That doesn't make me super comfortable. It's all right.
Right.
But like I love the Lorenzo Music Garfield, like that. His voice is like the best Garfield ever. I wish they would like just keep finding more people that like can do a Lorenzo Music impression. I mean, I guess Frank Welker is doing his own thing, but it's not. It doesn't have that vibe going. And for the movie
you're looking for.
For the movie they chose Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Why?
Just before you go to the next one, you were bringing up before, I don't want to jump off that topic all the way, like, in terms of, like, were you someone, because we were talking about this last time, and I do want to just run through this with you, were you someone that ran the entire time with Cartoon Network all the way through that 2000s era, watching it? Because I was there, obviously, later on, but what did that feel like to you? Like that change up, you know, in terms of like the Fridays adjustment when it moved off of just being in that studio room idea and moving into
I can tell you the first time Cartoon Network broke my heart.
What was the first time it broke your heart?
Yeah, like, because I told you Cartoon Fridays was an event.
Yeah.
And then later the block changed to, like, Cartoon Summer. And, like, those characters, they just, like, took out the character interactions and everything.
Right.
It was just, like, a remix version, a lyricless remix version of the theme song. And, like, it just, GIFs of the cartoon characters just, like, scrolling by. And then just the episode of whatever cartoon. And I'm just like, where's the fireworks factory? Where's the event? It's like that clip of Samurai Jack when he's like
When does the magic
where's
begin?
the magic? And he's like smiling and he just slowly goes away and he's like sitting there and like
There's no magic,
isn't there?
Nope.
And I remember I just felt so deflated. I was like, where's the Cartoon Fridays I know and love? Where is everything? And then like later we would get that like a new Fridays thing, and it was like had a new intro where it was like it was a well animated intro.
Absolutely.
They got like going through like the Cartoon Network studio, all these cartoons going by. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. And like I mean after that there was no like host or anything. It was just cartoons again. And I was like, oh, I guess that was just a lie. Because, like, again, Cartoon Network Friday was such an event, and you get a new host every week. I remember, like, I would look forward to, like, what's, like, how is the next character they choose gonna host it? And it's, like, they're, like, the next host, Mojo Jojo. How is he gonna host it? And, like, they would choose some odd picks, like, one of the hosts was fucking Eustace from Curse of Cali Dog, like,
that's right.
Why don't you choose him to host the show? Yeah. I need to see this.
Yes. Yeah.
And, he would just interact with, like, some of the other cartoon characters and just be grumpy with them. And it's just so delightful. It's a you get promised a crossover every week. And, like, it's an in-character crossover. And it's just, like, so great. And, like, and then you just lose all of that. And, like, by later they would, like, have, like, a Friday night block with, like, these live-action people and puppets. I mean, looking back at it, it's, like, it does look like a fun show that I probably would like as a kid if I gave it a chance, but like it wasn't my Cartoon Fridays # not my Cartoon Fridays, and I didn't care for it, so
that's fair. Yeah, it's quite a transition. Yeah, man, it was quite an event to watch it sort of derail, not derail, but just pivot into a completely different tone, you know. I know for you didn't like Cartoon City as much. Well, it wasn't that you didn't like it. It's just
no. I love Cartoon City
because you're right. It was just that the tone was, like you said, more chill. You had less time where you had these characters interacting.
Yeah.
Usually the bumpers didn't involve the characters.
It was the thing about Cartoon City. Like it was like more of its own show.
Yes.
Where Cartoon Fridays, that was an event.
Absolutely.
It was like you got to be there. You don't want to miss out on the cartoons like talking to each other and shit. Like they're presenting new cartoons. It's like a live show. Like it's like you're going through, like you gotta see this live show. Like, hey, this comedian is coming back to the bar. Like you want to be there with the to witness this.
To witness it, yeah. You want to see the magical comedian. You want to see the best magician. You want to see that moment because it's fleeting. Yeah, man. When cartoons, the way you feel about Cartoon Fridays ending is the way I felt when Cartoon City was replaced with, I think, the Yes era, and it was just, I think it was something else before that, but when it was just Yes, and it's like, okay, just Yes. It's like there was nothing, like...
I was disappointed too, because it was like, what the fuck is this? Because it was nothing. It was just like a void black background.
Right.
And it's something I can edit right, like, I can edit now, and a lot of people can just, like, put together. It was just, like, lazily done bumpers.
Yeah.
Like, what, I guess they lose some staff, or they trying to cut back on, like, the money they're spending on, like, animation that's not for TV? No, I wasn't sure what's going on there.
No, not at all. Let's slide off Cartoon Network a little bit. Unless you have this next question it relates back to it. What's the sort of a cartoon that stands the test of time for you? You go back to it.
Are we still on the cart? Like, I was mentioning the shows, and like, you didn't let me get to the second one.
I know. So you said Garfield and Friends, and you said that you liked, was it Frank Welker?
No, that's the new one. I mean, that's the CG one.
That's what I'm saying. You said
Frank
Welker.
Shut the fuck up. Lorenzo Music is like the voice of Garfield for the old specials, and Garfield and Friends, and like the writing of that show is great, even better than the comics, because the comics are just these simple jokes, three panel jokes. I'm like, okay, that's Garfield's a fun, lazy man in a cat suit, but like the writing of the show, because like it's not by Jim Davis, it's by like some other schmucks that are good at writing. And it's like it's very, and the character Garfield is very funny. He makes fun of other cartoons. He's fourth wall breaking, and like he's just very like monotone with everything. And like I didn't really care for like the farm animals part of the show when I was a kid, but like I like it a lot more as an adult, because those characters are fun too.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like the second comfort show for me is the fucking New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Really?
Like
that's cool.
That's
classic. Especially classic, man.
It's a classic.
Is that the one where the book opens? What's up with that one? Which one is the new? Which one is that?
It's a 2D one from the 90s, or I think the 80s.
Yeah.
Late 80s, but like late 80s, 90s.
Is that the one where they're dancing on the page? I can't recall much about.
Well, I can sing you the theme song. Gotta get up, I gotta get going. I'm gonna see a friend of mine, and like it's just like it's the most comforting nostalgia to me. It's a comforting nostalgia show. I just like even thinking about it. I just like feel warm inside. Like
that's cool. I mean, yeah, if you're feeling like that theme song pulls you in, that the character pulls you in, the memories of that moment pull you in. I understand.
I wish Disney would make more Winnie the Pooh. I think
there's a new CG show and it doesn't look good at all.
They are making new shit?
There's a new CG.
There was an old CG show that was shit.
Yeah, it might be the same show. I might be going wrong here, but I feel like there's a Winnie the Pooh CG show that's just garbage.
That old CG show ended.
It was
and it was with some girl that wasn't Christopher Robin.
I don't know if it is or isn't. I just remember when I was in Ocean City with my family, my sister was watching Disney Channel very early, and it was like there was a Winnie the Pooh, and I was like, okay,
like
whatever.
What I didn't like about that show, because like I would have given it a chance, but like the thing is, it's not a slice of life. It's like it's a talk to the fourth wall, have the kids help solve the puzzle show. And it's like, hey, can you solve this puzzle behind me?
Yeah.
All right, now scream real loud. Now wake up your parents.
Piss them off again.
Yeah, repeat it. Like repeat these phrases. Say the N-word, kids. Like it.
Say it.
Say it. Do it. I like most Winnie the Pooh shows, but like that one was just like, this is not a fitting media for Winnie the Pooh. Don't do this to him.
Yeah.
And then it did to Mickey. I was like, well, it's not a fitting media for Mickey either. I guess it is now. I'm not kind of used to it.
Right.
Especially now that, it just ended, but like with when they came out with the Paul Rubens shorts, I'm like, oh good, we get 2 incarnations of Mickey. One for fucking babies, and one for all ages. I'm just gonna watch the one for all ages. Thank you very much. But I wish if that CG show is just like another talk to the fourth wall for a little baby show.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. But if it's another slice of life, I'm down for it. I remember I think there's like a leaked episode of like a pilot of like another slice of life Pooh show that they didn't animate, but like it was nice. And Pooh wasn't voiced by Pooh and Tigger wasn't voiced by Jim Cummings, and that was throwing me off. It was like, I can watch it. The only thing I didn't like about that pilot, I'll show you a bit like after we're done with this recording, but like at the end of the pilot, they like show that like the Pooh and Tigger and stuff, there were stuffed animals, and it was all Christopher Robin's imagination. I'm just like, we're not supposed to see that. I don't like that. Don't do that.
Oh, that's very destructive.
Yeah, it is.
very
I hate that. No.
Oh,
like,
man.
I know that's what it is.
Yeah.
I know this is what it is the whole time.
Absolutely.
But don't show me that you're ruining the illusion.
Oh man, that's
Like,
tough.
don't tell me it was make believe the whole time.
Right. Let me believe
It's
it.
real to me.
Right.
Don't tell me it was fake.
100%. Yeah, man. Were there any other sort of animated characters that you sort of attached to? You know, obviously in terms of series, you have Garfield and Winnie the Pooh. Were like any of those like that you really sort of attached to, or just like you come back, like you came back home, you're really excited for this, like just seeing these characters on screen, like. Were those really the key ones, or was there any
Oh, I love the Disney characters, mostly Donald Duck, because his cartoons are relatable, even though they're fucking cartoony and wacky, because Donald Duck, he is a character that, like, deals with bullshit, and the world is always just against him, but, like, he just rages through it and just tries to powers through it anyway,
Right.
even if it doesn't work out in the end all the time. And like, those cartoons are just like Donald is like not like always an endearing character. Like sometimes he does sometimes he is a dick. Sometimes he is an antagonist, but like he's still he's just that's what makes him a fun character, and that's what makes him stand out from like most of the main Disney cast too. But because Donald Duck is my favorite Disney character, so I like most of the show season, like DuckTales. Even though in the original one he's just like he only appears in a few episodes. I mean, DuckTales is still fun though.
Right.
You know, Quack Pack. But like I remember when like 2017 DuckTales is still my favorite cartoon ever, because that like it's everything I wanted the original show to be and more. Like if you would ask me to remake DuckTales, the 80s DuckTales, the 2017 show is everything I would have envisioned. It's everything like fandom and nerddom to me from the Duck universe, from the comics, from everything surrounding like Donald Duck and all the rest of the Duck universe, Disney, and it's just like anything I can think of, they just do it in the show, and it just barely leaves out anything. There's some stuff they still haven't done, but they probably would have done if Disney gave them more seasons. But like when season 3 happened, it's like Disney's like, yeah, that's it. Fuck off.
Enough of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the writers didn't want it to end, but the writers didn't want it to end. But like because they still have more stories they wanted to tell, but like they had to like make a rush conclusion to the show anyway. But that last episode is still pretty good, even though it was rushed for them. I wish there was more so bad. That show is perfect. Oh wait, you can see my hand here. Perfect.
Gotta get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about DuckTales,
Woo!
what is the I always love the Batman DuckTales one where people do the joke where they do the Batman theme, but it's like DuckTales. But
my favorite mashup is like you ever heard "Live and Learn" from Sonic 2?
I believe
Live
so.
and learn, hanging on the edge to tomorrow.
You know, I'm not really deep into Sonic in terms of the platformer, just more the kart racers.
But the mashup is funny because like DuckTales,
What kind of monster is this?
living on the
Telling
edge
you
tomorrow. It's just I love
That's
mashups.
awesome. That's amazing.
I love like dumb fan mashups.
What's an animated movie or show that you would tell the audience, like, go out and see it right now? Like, if it's DuckTales, I would understand. Like,
That's not an anime movie though.
animated movie or
But
show.
people know of DuckTales.
No, I'm saying,
I think that was popular.
What's an animated movie or show that you tell them to go out and see? It could be a series, animated movie, animated short, animated show, anything in the Tomb realm. What would you tell the audience? Hey, go out and see it.
Oh wait, I got an obscure. Yeah, this one is obscure. I don't think even you know about this one.
Okay, I'm all ears.
A really under the radar show that like I didn't even know, and I can tell you how I found out about it. There's this show called Ned's Newt, and it's a boy.
Yeah.
And like it's about a boy, and he has this newt, and it's just a little it's just like limp and it does nothing. So he goes to the store and gets like pet food, and the pet food is like it's magical in some way because it like turns every time he feeds that food, he pretty much becomes a genie from Aladdin.
Oh my god.
And he's just a fun character.
That's crazy.
And I never caught this show on cable. I never knew it existed. How I know it existed is because like it was like advertised on video when I was watching. It was like a preview before I was watching some other show on video. And like when I was a kid, this Dollar Tree near me would just have like a bunch of cassette tapes for like $3 or $5, and they would have like new ones every week, and I would just keep buying cassettes for them.
Yeah.
And like they had like Ned's Newt Volume 1, and I just like watched it and I was like, this cartoon is pretty funny. And they had Ned's Newt Volume 2, they had Ned's Newt Volume 3, and like this show is pretty good, and sometimes I forget about it. Alright, so I just showed Brian some clips of Ned's Newt, but like that's like a show, like if it wasn't for the videos at Dollar General, I wouldn't even know they existed.
Right.
It is a funny show, and I probably should have looked up while we were talking, but like when this comes out, because he is very much like the genie from Aladdin.
Absolutely. That's probably late 2000, late 90s, early 2000s possibly, you think?
Yeah, so let me look up Aladdin. Do you have anything to freaking say? Like, what does the show look like to you?
I think it was very cool. Like, if that was to be a mini cartoon chat thing, like, I would say I like the fluidity of the character. I do like the tone that they're giving this, the optimism that they're giving this kid. Yeah, it's a very interesting sort of situation you've got there. It was only about a, 1 minute clip.
Okay, Aladdin was 1992. This show showed up in 1998. So he's very much a ripoff of a genie. Yeah. But like he's a good one. Goddammit. He's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a cool looking thing. It's very much like Fairly Odd Parents, where it's like it makes it happen, and then he comes into existence, and then it's like boom. And then what do you want? What do you want to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But. That's a cool looking show. I can imagine why that's one of those things worth tossing to the audience.
It's very under the radar. Even I forget about it sometimes, but like it's an obscure one. Like shit, I can watch that any day of the week.
Is that era, like that '90s era, your preference, like your favorite kind of time of like decade of animation overall?
If that's
like
the era,
so many,
if that's the era, like again going back to if that's the era Cartoon Fridays in, yeah, because I love those cartoons and I love like it. Cartoon Fridays bringing it all around. I just loved like when there was like a new cartoon releasing, it will premiere on there and it'd be so exciting and a new episode for it. That was the most I was excited for, like a new episode of shit.
Right. Yeah. The only reason I ask is, like, there's so much, because, man, like, there's so much nostalgic stuff for people that, like me and you, or, like, we're born in that mid to late 90s realm. I'm born 97, you 95, and, with that, like, we obviously caught a lot of that stuff on, like you said, VHS tape and things like that, where we're still catching up on content that's from that era. But
it's more because it's more that that's more the perfect spot for Cartoon Network, and that's what I was watching the most. I didn't really watch too much on Disney Channel. It was some there, some there. But like Nickelodeon, it was some stuff I didn't really care for at the time. Mostly I love the Rugrats. Everything else I didn't really care for. Like I never cared for Doug. That wasn't a thing around that time. Cartoon Fridays era.
That was not a thing. You're right.
Yeah. It was like I didn't really watch Hey Arnold like that.
Rocket Power.
I didn't really care for Rocket Power either, and even as an adult, Rocket Power fucking sucks.
Oh my god! I just need to rewatch it. I need to see what that's like.
It's a show that was made for like the trend.
Skateboarders.
It's like if Cartoon Network was to make, if Nickelodeon was to make Rocket Power from the ground up today, it would be a show about TikTokers instead of skateboarders. That's what Rocket Power was, because back in the 90s or late 90s, it was like, totally tubular skateboarding! Extreme! Yeah. That was like the early 2000s, 90s, and like that was like Nickelodeon was harping on that. I was never the show never looked interesting to me as a kid, but like as an adult, like it was like, oh, this is a stupid show that was just trying to be fucking trendy.
That's a good point. I'll be honest with you. I never thought of Rocket Power as like just capturing the zeitgeist, and if it was made today, yeah, it'd be totally TikTok. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
and that changes the entire perception I have of Rocket Power. That's interesting.
Because a lot of cartoons were doing that too. They were even having an episode like, you know, your favorite cartoon. We even have the extreme episode because they're just trying to be with the trend.
Fair point. Yeah. Do you think animation's better or worse now? Do you think it's like this is like the best time to jump into animation? Overall? Or not jump in, but just to be a fan of animation.
Anytime is a good time to be a fan of animation. But like we're talking about like, I mean, that's a loaded question. But you're talking about like right now,
question, yeah.
we're probably,
it's like a broad question. This could, yeah.
We're getting like
this is a broad question.
Like I guess less shit because you know, animators are just getting treated more like shit the more like years go on. I remember I used to think like when Netflix became a streaming service and they had new cartoons, it sounded like they were saving grace, but like no, they turn out they treat their animators like shit too. And like because of it, you get like less cartoons, or probably like less interesting cartoons. But you still get some really good hitters.
Yeah, Scissor 7
hitters.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, like, but also cartoons are like modern cartoons are like have their own vibe that like older cartoons have their own vibe separate from like older cartoons. Like I love like cartoons I'm watching currently are really good. Like Craig of the Creek is a really good cartoon. What else? Like the shit's HBO Max took off. What I was watching was Victor and Valentino was really good, and I fucking loved the shit out of like Meow Meow, Heroes of Pure Heart. I was watching the shit out of it. But now I have to go to a fucking bootleg cartoon site because I don't have it on my fucking subscription that I paid for anymore.
Right.
But like I think any time is a good, especially nowadays, anytime is a good time to be a cartoon fan because the backlog is just there.
Absolutely. Because
it's not like you have to channel surf and hope for the best. 100%. And like you just like because like even back then, it was just like hoping if something was on TV for you. Cause I remember you know you had this too. Like back then you would like a show, and then you would notice they're not showing that show anymore. What happened?
100%. And sometimes, by the way, if you were lucky, you'd have like I think for a couple of years we had On Demand with Comcast, and sometimes the show you want wouldn't be on there. You know, on that backlog library where you could just look at the on-demand selection. It's like, oh, potatoes.
Or then sometimes you're like, I've seen this episode. I don't feel like watching this episode. And it's like, when's the new episode coming out?
Yeah. Oh, it's always like a rerun from like 2 seasons ago. Like,
yeah.
That gets the... I always thought that was SpongeBob. Like, SpongeBob would always air obviously like that recent season, then they would rarely go back. When it was like 2004, 2005, I would always... or 6, or probably more toward the end of the decade of the 2000s, I would always remember seeing like much more often like seasons that were closer to that time period than season 1, 2, and 3, and it's like, oh, that stinks. I would like to see, like, I was always excited for something like Sandy's Rocket. That's something where I was like, I remember that episode as a kid. I always wanted to see like, oh, I hope they play that episode. And it would usually be something from more recent.
Yeah, they barely played that episode for some reason.
Yeah. They probably didn't want kids to run out and steal rockets as you can. As you can.
That's the whole plot of Planet Sheen.
Oh my god! Why did you? You know, Mark, we were having a great conversation.
You're talking about stealing rockets, though. You're like, they probably didn't air because they didn't want kids to steal rockets. But like, why the fuck did they make the entirety of Planet Sheen?
Yeah. In a you know, you said we're getting close to pretty much closing this out. In the grand scheme of things, you are sort of a as you say, you're a drawer. You don't claim to be an animator, but do you still have this sort of vision that you'd like to be eventually like an animator somewhere, or self-produce, or make something eventually?
Still to this day, I still daydream about it. Like, I listen to my music and it's like, damn, if my characters are like doing some cool shit to this song I'm listening to right now,
yeah,
I would love to animate. But like, it's a long process. It's a lot to learn. On top of that, I'm not good at drawing. Like, that whole shapes, like a whole thing I told you about earlier with the starting from the shapes and stuff for continuity. That's kind of very much needed for animation. I'm still not good at that yet. Because you gotta keep like a certain model in certain proportions to like stay consistent between frames. Like if depending on your style you're going for, you don't have to do it between shots, but between frames you better keep that model there like consistent.
Yeah.
And it's like even I have a hard time with that. I think I had like an animation test before where like my character just raised an arm like, hello everybody, it's an animation test, and that arm,
that's right.
Like, even looking back on that, I was like, damn, that arm is long as fuck.
That's, again, yeah, you look at yourself, self-analysis, especially the longer time goes by, you look at that, and it's like, I could tweak this, I could adjust that, that's tough.
And there's like a lot of things to learn. There's so many fundamentals, so many types of animations. Like, it's not just about art style. It's about fluidity of the animation. It's also a style. Are you trying to go for three frames per second animation? Are you trying to go on the ones? Are you trying to go on the twos?
Right.
Because like at default, probably some of us are like when you're starting out, you're going on the ones because you're just thinking about fluidity. But it's like traditionally, some people just go on the twos or the threes, especially TV shows, because it's just like it gets things moving faster.
Absolutely.
Also, like certain shows are like like when they're, especially shows are going to a retro vibe or like where I think what's called the UPA style, they like their humor and their writing is based on low frames, like Clone High and Fairly Odd Parents, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls. They that style, I think it's called like UPA style, and I forgot what it stands for, but like that it's very flat and like it's like but the right and like it's very low, like low frames per second, but like the writing is mashing with it.
Gotcha. I had no clue about any of that, by the way. I had no clue at all.
Yeah, but there's like a trend with that certain style.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the name for it. It's UPA. You probably have to look up more into it to see like what does it mean, what is it about.
Right.
But like there was like older cartoons about that, like the one of the first like UPA cartoons was a cartoon from Warner Brothers, Gerald McBoing Boing, and not the old. And I'm not talking about the Tickle You show that was on Cartoon Network's like preschool failed preschool block.
Yeah,
it was like a very old 70s, 60s cartoon. Gerald McBoing Boing.
Gotcha.
Fun cartoon.
Absolutely.
Right. I think there's another one called Rat Tat Tat. I'll probably show you that cartoon eventually. It's a good one.
Right. Mark, we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate you for tagging in on this episode of Tracing History. It's cool to have a discussion here about the sort of backlog, the history of the man.
Even though we do it twice, we get some deja vu.
You can find this man. You will probably almost always find this man on CartoonChat when we're talking about movies, TV shows, things like that. That is the podcast that we co-host. So you'll see these two faces pretty often when we're co-hosting. We've already done one on Atlantis. We've already done another on Incredibles. So the list is.
You done another one on hentai, but we had to scrap that episode. Yeah.
If you ever, that's why I don't know why I even brought that up, but
we're not supposed to talk about that one.
But Mark, again, where can the audience find you outside of the fact that you can, of course, go to ScreenBlast podcast?
Not anymore. I quit.
Oh, but that throws everything out of it. But where can they find you, Mark?
At my YouTube channel that I will eventually make videos for again. Just wait there. It's gonna pop up. It's gonna happen eventually. K9Biscuits. That's K9Biskuts.com. And I know biscuits is misspelled on purpose. Well, left misspelled on purpose. I mean, I made that username when I was a kid, and I was a stupid child who didn't know how to spell, so I thought that's how you spelled biscuits, but I found out that's not how you spell biscuits. That's the incorrect way to spell biscuits. I don't know why I spelled biscuits that way, because that looks incorrect, but now I'm keeping it because it's a unique way to spell biscuits. Also, like it's easier to find me in the search engine.
Oh, way better. If you actually spelled biscuits correctly, you would never be found ever.
Oh yeah, it's like what doggy treats would you like?
Right, and 78 different videos on why dog treats started out like a video essay on.
Now if you search my name, you can find everything I'm a part of.
Right.
So if you search my name, K9Biscuits, Google will just show you results for doggy treats and shit because they'll be like, hey, we're showing you results for this word you might have misspelled. So we're showing results for this one instead of this one. But no, just click on the one no, I'm actually looking for shit about this misspelling. Right. It's okay, this is all the results for K9Biscuits.
And that's where you'll find him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Of course, you can find me on @Democracy, ATHEMOCRACY.com, or
the adult channel. Oh yeah.
Or you can find me at ScreenBlast. And of course, if you guys have gone all the way through this conversation, please make sure to subscribe. If you are on a Democracy, jump over to ScreenBlast for a second. You can find us again on YouTube, or you can just go to ScreenBlast Podcast on your favorite podcast service, even Spotify, and you'll find us there. Just subscribe to us. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts or things you want us to cover in the future, we have a streaming podcast for streaming content. We have a theatrical movie-based podcast. We have
another laid-back podcast. If you got some memes, if you got some old commercials,
hosted by this guy, by the way. So we have another one. We have Mark and Brian Have a Cow, the Cowcast, and we have what are we missing? The video game podcast, Blasting Turbo Boards. So if you have ideas, thoughts, topics, comments, anything you want us to cover, throw those at us at all lowercase, all together.
We don't have merch, but we will have merch once we get popular. Okay. Please watch your stuff so you can make us popular.
At ScreenBlast.
So we can, and once we get.
Can I market the episode at ScreenBlast Podcast at gmail.com. Again, that's ScreenBlastPodcast at gmail.com. It's all lowercase. It's all together. You can send it to us. You can even send, I believe, CartoonChat Podcast is, I reopened that up. So CartoonChat Podcast at gmail.com. And we will try and cycle those in as well for ScreenBlast overall. So send it there, send it to ScreenBlastPodcast at gmail.com. What were you saying, Mark?
Oh, this frame you're looking at right now, this can be on a shirt. Watch us and tell us your friends about it so we can be popular enough to make merch. So we have guaranteed people to buy it.
Yes. There should probably be a shirt.
Dude, it's gonna be so surreal. If we ever get somewhere and it's we just see people walking around with our shirts. It's oh.
There should be a shirt that says this shirt means you bought our merch.
It probably already exists.
It probably does. Guys, thanks for watching.
What if? Oh shit! We probably have to fucking take it out because that's a good idea.
Yeah, guys. Again, thanks for watching. We're gonna wrap that up. All right, Mark, you can click that.
Logging out do I do it here?
Do what here?
The logging out, everybody.
Yeah, that's your tagline. So
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Logging out, everybody.
He's still very powerful. What kind of monster is this? How are you doing, son?